Hello teachers, welcome to Project Stay Curious. In this lesson, I will share with you a sample of an online 5is lesson using only Google Form. Because of COVID-19 and the threat of possible existence of other events that can lead to social distancing and class interruption, we are now transitioning to what we called new normal. And in education, part of the new normal is the shifting of face-to-face classes practices to online. Now, why Google Form? Google Form is one of the most accessible online educational tools that we have today. It is also widely used by both public and private teachers in gathering data. Moreover, it's free and very user-friendly for both teachers and students. All you need to have are internet connection and Google accounts for you to be able to use Google Forms. We are not saying that you do not need to explore any more other online educational tools. It is actually better if your school has its own online platform to be used for the uniformity of teachers' approach in delivering their lessons. This tutorial is for those teachers who are new in the implementation of online classes and do not have strong background yet to explore other online educational tools. I just want to remind every teacher that the keys to successful online classes are number 1, consistency, and number 2, innovations. In consistency, teachers must have consistent platform to be used and instructions to be given. Students must be able to build routines in your online classes so that there will be a greater assurance that they can successfully accomplish the tasks given to them. In innovations, teachers must be innovative enough to think of other ways on how to improve instructions and on how to introduce changes little by little so that students will not be confused of the changes that will be made. Speaking of consistency, I would like now to share with you a sample 5is lesson by using Google Form. This practice can be used for first 2 to 4 weeks of online classes so that students will have it as a routine that you teach lessons that way. I will use a 5is lesson plan design because although we are now doing classes online, it is still important to include all the parts of a lesson plan so that our teaching will still become engaging, meaningful, and systematic. Let us start. This is the finished 5is lesson. Take note that this lesson is good for asynchronous class. In my sample, students will no longer need to go to other websites because every part of the lesson is already in this single form. My sample topic is about cell. On the first page of the Google form, you can add the objectives so that they will know what are expected from them at the end of the lesson. Students also need to provide their basic information so that we will know who accomplished the form. We can also identify the time and date of their submission. The second page of the form is the start of the lesson. Let's just recall that the 5-letter E stand for engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. Let us start with the engage part. In this part, I use the game entitled Subtract and Add. All they need to do is number 1, identify the name of each image or photo. Number 2, subtract the letters indicated below each image or photo. And number 3, add all the remaining letters to form the hidden word. I have here the photo of the game, followed by the example so they can be familiarized with the game. In this lesson, I only included 2 items just for the demonstration. They need to type their answers to be recorded and for them to be able to proceed to the next page. In the next page, they can see the correct answers and there is a question to be answered by the students. This question can be useful for teachers to know if the students already have background knowledge about the topic. You may also use other games that use pictures like 4Pix 1 word, photo analysis, etc. The second part of the lesson is explore. We call this activity as picture analysis because students need to give the similarities and differences of the given pictures. In this part, students can carefully analyze the pictures or maybe some of them will just search on Google. But I guess it is still part of the explore because we are encouraging them to explore more details. Third part is explain. This part is actually used by most teachers to feed information to students, usually in a form of discussion. But since we are in a synchronous type of class, We can use video that will explain the concept to them, or better, create your own video explaining the topics. After the video watching, they need to answer some questions about the video in sentence form so that we can get more authentic responses from them. I'm also requiring them to give questions about the presented concepts in the video to know if I need to give clarifications or if I need to give more information. Fourth part is elaborate. This part is usually used by science teachers in providing real-life examples which will serve as the application of the concepts learned. It can be in a form of activity. In our designed lesson, I think of a simple activity to get more responses. I call it as a photo essay making activity. All they need to do is to take a picture of them doing their most favorite household task. They also need to explain how do their cells help them to accomplish their task. The last part is evaluate. I call it as brain gymnastics. In our example, students need to answer multiple choice type of questions. But you can also use other types of tests like true or false, sentence completion, matching type, and others. That's it! We designed a 5E lesson plan by just using a Google form. With this way of doing online classes, students will be able to build a routine about how you deliver your classes online. But again, I am not limiting your creativity in designing your online classes. You can still use other platforms available online. I am offering this to our teachers who are new in doing online classes. But whether you are expert already or not in creating online classes, you need to always remember that consistency in terms of platform to be used and instructions to be given and innovation to make your design more interesting are the keys to successful online classes implementation. Hope this video helps you in your teaching career. To be updated with our new video lessons, please subscribe to Project Stay Curious YouTube channel and like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/projectstaycuriousph. Thank you for watching and always remember to stay curious.